Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
We're recording two in a row. So if someone's like, what the hell, is number one fan Tim the new all the time other host? No, he's not. He's here.
If I annoy you, I'm sorry.
And I've had trouble getting people to record, so I told them we're going to go back to back.
Giggity!
Here's the topic we're going to tackle. The demonizing of preference, otherwise known as shaming.
Shaming.
And what I'm talking about is fat shaming and playing the race card and calling people sexist and bigots, because there's a problem in America where if somebody's mentality doesn't line up with yours, you can't have a civil debate about the issue to try to sway each other's mindset. It just leads to fucking name calling. And this has only been exacerbated by the anonymity of the internet, where the ability to just bully people, I fucking hate the word bully, but you're bullying people with negativity.
You're bullying them without having to actually bully them because you don't have to be face to face.
So, you see somebody, they're very large. I don't mind a woman that has some meat on her bones.
No, I like a woman with some meat on her bones.
So does Rick James.
Ricky!
Who I still am fighting tooth and nail to get the son of a bitch to come on either show. He's watching the Royal Rumble right now. I wish I was there with him. That's part of the deal, is I watch a wrestling pay-per-view, he comes on the show. But I digress.
Sounds like a good
So,
deal.
say you've got a woman who's fat and she's wearing a bikini, and she posts the picture on Instagram or something. She's going to get 10% positive comments and 90% negative ones. Mm-hmm. And everybody that's positive is going to say, don't fat shame her. Now, you're making a conscious effort to go and talk shit about her, but if you see the photo, you could just not comment, right?
That's what I do. I just don't say anything.
Okay, so let's take this scenario and then move it to like a bar or a restaurant setting. Somewhere where a large woman approaches me and she tries to chat me up. I don't find her attractive, but I'll still talk to people that I don't want to fuck because I don't just think with my dick all the time. Mm-hmm. I like to meet new people and make friends. Expanding your horizons is what the human experience is about, despite what other people might argue. Yeah, you need to meet more people. So she tries to chat me up. We have a conversation, and then she asks me for my number, and I'm like, why? And she says, well, I really like talking to you. I'd like to go out on a date or something. If I go, I could lie and be nice and be like, well, I'm already seeing somebody. Well, why did you talk to me? Because I'm nice, and you seem nice, and I just wanted to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to lead with, hi, nice to meet you, I'm spoken for. Who fucking does that?
Nobody I know.
It's very direct. It would make communication a lot easier. You'd waste fewer people's time if you were like, hi, I'm on Tinder because I want to get my dick sucked. Instead of like, I'm a single father and I'm just trying to get back out there and meet someone because I'm lonely and I just want someone to talk to. And here's 9 shirtless selfies of me in the shower flexing with my new Punisher skull tattoo on my chest. Do you want to fuck? You know? So, back to the fatty. She asked me for my number, and I say, I'm going to be very frank with you. You're nice. I enjoyed our conversation, but I'm not physically attracted to you.
No.
If a feminist was in earshot of that conversation, and she had the physical ability to lift me up, I would be nailed to a cross, both figuratively and literally. Why? Am I fat shaming her? If I say, I don't find you attractive because you're too big for me. Your body type is not what I'm into.
I think a feminist would say you're fat shaming her just because she's not a perfect 10, so you're not going to date her?
Why the fuck should I have to change my preference to meet her goals? Like, I still have a flip phone, and just about everybody that fucking sees it when I pull it out, that forgot I still have it, are like, what the hell is that? It's my flip phone. Dude, you need to get a smartphone. And I had to say to somebody once, why would I change my phone preference to meet your needs and expectations? This is what works for me. It's what I like. That's why I have it. I don't want to fuck women that are so fat they need a hand mirror to see their own genitals in the morning.
Yeah.
To see if Uncle Joe needs a shave. But someone would say, oh, you don't find her physically attractive, so you're not giving her the time of day. Why the fuck should I have to? And why should you have the right to tell me that I'm wrong for not wanting to fuck her because she's fat?
Yeah, it's just not your preference.
If you're so worried about her feelings, either take her ass to the gym and become her trainer, or you go fuck her.
Yeah, that's a simple solution.
Ugly shaming, fat shaming, I guess stupid shaming, slut shaming. Remember a time when there was a negative connotation with a woman who had fucked everybody she'd ever spoken to?
Yeah.
And now she's sexually liberated.
I'd still... Well, I'm not...
Fuck the sexual revolution.
Sorry, but if you're sleeping around that much, there's something going on. If she's pretty and she's sleeping around a lot, then she must have a really bad personality.
Or she just likes to get dick and she doesn't want to be tied down. But
I suppose.
I mean, the broader point I'm trying to make here is they say don't slut shame her. Okay, I'm not saying it's okay for guys to go fuck about and get the, oh, way to go. How many conquests is this now? Let's count the notches on your belt. I don't believe in that old guard, it's okay for guys but not for girls mentality. Everybody should kind of keep it in their pants and be more selective. But thanks to the internet and the digital age, the ability to meet somebody, to fuck them, and then never talk to them again is like, boom,
yeah,
done.
I've seen the advertisements on there, and it's just, that's desperation.
You used to have to go to like clubs to meet people that were DTF. Now you just put out a want ad on the internet and wait for somebody to fucking email you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is everybody should stop fucking so much. They're like, well, there's so many unplanned pregnancies and the proliferation of sexually transmitted diseases. And let's be honest, fucking with a condom on feels horrible. It's safe, it's smart, but when I go to the movies, I don't wear a blindfold. When I eat a steak, I don't put a plastic bag over my tongue.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to drive a Ferrari, I don't cover myself in bubble wrap in case there's a crash. I want to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
So, stop fucking so much. And don't tell me I can't slut shame her. Because I'm supposed to tell my daughters to keep their knees together. And if you want a man to respect you, don't give it up right away. If you want to find love, think with your head and your heart, not your vagina. Just like you would tell your son, hey, if you go knock some girl up, I'm going to fucking be so mad at you, and her dad's probably going to kill you for ruining her life. So keep it in your pants. Mm-hmm. Or pull out. My dad never gave me that advice.
I never got the pull-out advice either, but I figured it out.
Right. Well, so did I. I think it's...
Because fucking with a condom sucked.
It does. It's terrible, and it doesn't feel good, and that's why I don't do it.
Take whatever of... Well, I don't know if it even changes. Like, if a woman is having sex with a guy who's wearing a condom, does that take away from her sensation too?
I don't know. I don't have a vagina.
That's a good question to ask somebody, though.
Okay, so what I did just now was pause the show so I could put out a mass text, and the early returns from the 11 females that I messaged were 5 of them said, yes, it is less intense if you wear a condom.
Yeah, I've suspected that.
And one of them said, not really. Lucky her for having such a sensitive vagina.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be a big deal if you tell women, don't fuck around so much. Because you're not saying like, oh, you're a slut. If you put some actual thought into what you're saying, slut shaming by calling a woman a slut in and of itself is disrespectful. But if you say to her, do you think you maybe shouldn't sleep around so much? And perhaps you'd get less flack from people?
Would that be considered shaming? Yeah.
It shouldn't be considered shaming, but
No,
most
it's not
fucking
like you're
pussy bleeding hearts would say, yes, you're slut shaming still.
If you're being relentless about it and constantly going on about it, then I would say, yeah, you're shaming. Trying to make her feel bad about it. But just saying once or twice over a period of 6 months, God, you're kind of a slut, aren't you? Or maybe you shouldn't, like as you were saying, then I wouldn't consider that
I know
shaming.
multiple women in my lifetime that have banged 40 or more guys.
Bing bong, hello!
Wow.
40 or more guys.
That's a lot.
One admitted to banging at least 80 before she stopped counting. But that's because she had some problems growing up. The other one is just very sexually free-spirited.
Did she say the number of years she accomplished that?
I didn't ask.
Because I think that might be relevant.
It might be. But here's another one. Say the scenario, take out the fat chick and then substitute a black girl. Mm-hmm. I like women of every color, but I am more attracted to light-skinned black girls. And this is going to sound awful, but I like black girls that have white features. I like black girls that have thinner lips and smaller noses. And people would call me a racist for that, but it's my preference. There's nothing wrong with anybody else's face in terms of just their quality as a human being, their attractiveness to anybody else. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying my personal preference is if you have a big goddamn stupid Russ Troll doll nose, that is going to... Yeah, you're smiling. It's a good fucking analogy, isn't it?
It is.
So if you've got a giant schnoz, yeah, I'm not going to like it. If you've got a big fucking bird beak of a nose, no matter what color you are, that could get in the way of kissing, and I like to kiss. Yeah. And I also don't want to be afraid that if I leave out a piece of suet cake that you're going to attack it and then claw me to death if I get in between the two of you. You know? So I shouldn't be called a racist for saying I'm not attracted to black girls. Say you don't like Asian girls.
It's more like you're not attracted to most. Well, I don't even know if it's most. Half.
We're going to edit that part out.
Okay.
Like if you said, I don't like Asian girls, and somebody who was Asian took offense to that and said, what's wrong with Asian girls? Why aren't Asian girls good enough for you? You just don't like Asians? Are you racist against us? No,
it's just not a preference.
It's not my preference. Plus, I've heard that you all have sideways vaginas, which I can tell you from the internet is not true.
And you age terribly.
That's not necessarily true. There's a lot of Asian people that look like they're young until they're 60, and then on their 60th birthday, they look 80.
That's aging terribly there.
That's a joke that I stole from, I don't even know. I think I stole that from Margaret Cho.
Yeah, but she'd be the one to tell it.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's what our society is full of people who, they don't just voice their opinion, they weaponize their opinion to make you feel shitty about your own opinion.
Yeah.
It's not, well, here's how maybe you should think of things differently. It's, how fucking dare you? And that's why I almost wish America would just collapse. Because then maybe we'd weed out some of these pussies. I hate to use Bill Maher as an example, but the other day Bill Maher said that the problem with the Democrats is that they used to be a party for people. Mm-hmm. Now, they're a party that's too busy policing language and policy and trying to diversify for the sake of everyone's inclusion. I'm paraphrasing a bit, but that's what he was trying to say. He's like, you Democrats were so busy policing language and try to make everything a safe space that you let Donald Trump get elected president. Right in front of your fucking face. And the Republicans didn't want it either, but they were like, you know what? I don't want to fucking agree with the Democrats. And then Donald Trump happened. Well, and I'm not anti-Trump. I don't agree with some of the shit he's trying to do already.
Yeah. And
I'm sticking to my prediction that I made at work a week and a half ago that, mark my words, by the end of 2017, it might not include us, but the initial excursions of World War III will have tipped off. There will be another major war between two superpowers that will be arguing over landmass, like the South China Sea, or invasion of a territory, what Russia already did in the Crimean Peninsula over in the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Something's going to happen somewhere, and it's going to just, all the dominoes are going to start to fall. And I hate to say that it would get to the point of nuclear war. And a lot of people are like, please, Russia and the U.S. fucking work this out so the rest of the world doesn't, see you two warring and start taking sides and following suit.
But every time Trump talks about working with Russia, they're like, oh, see, yeah, you like Russia and Russia likes you and they made you win the election by sabotaging Hillary. And so it's like as much as they want peace to happen, they don't want Trump to be the one responsible for it. So they just try to demonize it every time he talks about working with Russia, which that's what you have to do in order to solve these situations.
Well, he's another one of these regressive idiots that's all about anti-abortion and we have to ban all the Muslims and this and that and the other. So it takes me to another idea of shaming. And I read this story the other day. Uppsala. Welcome to our brave new digital world in which raping women is all fun and games. Police are reportedly investigating the suspected gang rape of a woman after the attack was live streamed on Facebook Live. An online witness said the victim had her clothes pulled off by armed men and was sexually assaulted before cops arrived and turned off the camera. 3 people have been arrested, and they are all immigrants.
But that's not in the news story.
So they have not included in this story that the rapists are all immigrants. So anybody that worships at the altar of political correctness and multiculturalism should not be surprised and are totally okay with that. So what the government's purposely not doing through the media is identifying these guys as immigrants because they're afraid that it's going to negatively cast light on other immigrants. So they're saying that it's effectively pointing out that they're immigrants. It's immigrant shaming. What the actual fuck is that? Like, hasn't that always kind of been a thing? Like, there's a reason that when the people came through Ellis Island, that there was an Irish neighborhood. There was a black neighborhood. There was a Jewish neighborhood. There was an Italian neighborhood. There was a Russian neighborhood. People didn't intermingle because they believed that if they stuck with their own people, they'd be safer.
Yeah.
And then you have to kind of go outside of your comfort zone and meet more people. Not everybody that's a different nationality is out to get you. Unfortunately, it's getting that way because there's limited resources and everybody wants to get the fuck out of the Middle East and come here, like Syrians, which I have no problem with, I guess, if they're going to, abide by our laws and such. But who the fuck is paying for them? I don't want to.
Well, that's the trick. The Syrians look like the Iraqis look like the Iranians look like the Palestinians look like Israelis, and you can't determine based off of where they come from whether or not they're going to be a problem. Because there has been documented cases where terrorists, sleeper cells, whatever, disguised themselves as refugees from Syria or from wherever and made their way into France and Germany and supposedly some here in the U.S. And then you have incidents like in France when the immigrant truck driver took a truck and ran over and killed a bunch of people. And then the shit going on in Germany, there was a bunch of rape and crime and everything going on there. And they're blaming the immigrants that came, the refugees, the Syrian refugees or whoever the hell wherever they're from, for the spike in the crime and all that. And it was all done in political correctness. Let's bring these people over. Let's include them. But sad to say, as you kind of pointed out, the Russians hung out in Russia's neighborhood. The Irish hung out in Irish neighborhoods. Because you get along with those people. You understand each other. You
speak the same language for starters.
Yeah, well, I think everyone moves wherever you move to, you should learn to speak that language. If I moved to China, I'd learn to speak Chinese.
I'm fine with that mindset. There's people that are like, oh, you need to assimilate. Well, to a degree. I'm not saying you need to completely get rid of your own culture, but make a concerted effort to be a part of ours.
No, exactly.
Don't just come here for the benefits and the welfare. Fucking learn the language and interact and get to work.
Maybe go to a soup kitchen and volunteer a little bit.
That's nationalism, Tim. How dare you say things like that?
I've never volunteered at a soup kitchen.
Don't immigrant shame. Don't be so fucking small-minded. But, what happened in Uppsala is just a more flagrant example of what the internet has done. It's this me, look at me all the time mentality where everybody sees everything all the time. But more importantly, the information's out there that they're immigrants. New Year's in Germany, in what year did I say this? New Year's Eve, 2016. German New Year. Tons and tons, hundreds if not thousands of alleged sexual assaults.
Yep.
And that runs the gamut from groping to kissing to unwelcome advances to full-on rape.
Yep.
And they're seeing this and blaming it on the influx of immigrants from other parts of the world. If you have a certain type of person that commits a crime, say, we're looking for a suspect, he's Middle Eastern. That doesn't mean that every Middle Eastern guy is a suspect. And you get these PC zealots that think that using classification information that you would find on a census, if you describe somebody, their personal physical traits and characteristics, that's not the same as profiling, but they want to say it's like profiling.
Yeah. Wasn't there that rape case down at the U of M, and they refused to say the color of the...
Yes.
of the people. And it's just like,
Yes.
well, how are you supposed to find the person that did it? You can't say there's a person wearing a black hoodie and a white T-shirt with black jeans. I mean, that's 90% of the people that dress down there.
Right. So, I mean, you think that you're being politically correct, but what you're doing is foregoing reason and common sense for the sake of being nice. What the fuck is wrong with our nation?
Try not to sound like you're racist by saying, well, the suspect was black or the suspect was Asian.
Oh, well, blacks commit disproportionate amounts of crime to their amount of population percentage makeup in the United States.
Yep.
That's a fact. I'm not saying blacks all commit crimes, but they have, per the NCIC, been responsible for a disproportionate amount of crime.
Yeah.
42% of the crime, and they're like, what, 16% of the population or less? It's probably not even that much. I'm probably adding an extra amount.
I think the number I heard was 13% of the population, and they were committing 66% of the crimes.
Isn't the point of law enforcement when you're a victim to find the person that did it and bring them to justice? Mm-hmm. Not worry about hurting their feelings or other people of their races or sexes or genders' feelings? But heaven forbid some gay guy comes up to me at a bar and grabs my ass and I say, dude, I'm not gay. Get the fuck away from me. Because someone might say, you're a homophobe. You all but called him a faggot. I'm not going to go, whoa, easy there, faggot. Because that'd be hilarious if I was that stupid. Hilarious, unfortunate, not hilarious. It's okay to call people faggot.
Yeah.
Because you can call people a faggot, but just don't call gay people faggots. I'm all for using the word faggot on non-gay people. It's not fair to call gay people faggots. It gives a negative connotation to being gay.
Yeah.
Whereas if I want to call you a faggot, it's because you're acting like a pussy or effeminate. Eminem got in trouble for this shit years ago, and he had to defend himself. He's like, when I use the word faggot, it's like taking away all of their power. I'm emasculating them like they're a bitch. And everyone's like, how fucking dare you?
Yo, bitch, you think you bad just because you're mine don't mean I can't put a cap in your ass, bitch, man?
Go and Google Louis C.K. cunt nigger faggot.
I can't remember. I think I've heard that bit before.
Words that people don't think you should say, and I'm not okay with the word nigger. But I can say the word nigger referentially. Mm-hmm. I'm not that uptight about saying nigger. I'm not saying anyone is a nigger. I'm not saying niggers, like I'm talking poorly about an entire group of people that have been slandered with that word for hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying so-and-so said nigger. Oh, they spray painted the word nigger on the side of a garage. And underneath it was the words, go home. That's a news story. 20 years ago, you could put niggers go home was spray painted on the side of a black family's house. Nowadays, if you print that shit, you better be prepared to prep your resume for another fucking job.
Yeah.
The fucking pussy-ass liberal media is going to attack the shit out of you.
It's the PC just gone awry. I mean, it's, granted, like I said, it's, don't say nigger, don't call someone a nigger, but to use the word as a reference, I don't get how that's so bad.
And the other day, there was Phil Labonte is the singer of metal band All That Remains. He's a gun-toting, right-wing crazy ass. He really is. And he uses the word faggot against people. And there was an argument on this website that reported the story where people are, posing their opinions about his usage of it. Most of them were just calling him like a troll and an idiot and a redneck, which he is. But I said that personally, I don't feel anybody should say they're offended by the word faggot unless they're gay. Technically, isn't it wrong and out of place for me to tell black people not to call each other nigga? They say, well, it's a term of endearment for us. You know what? Fine. I'm not going to get into another fucking argument with an inmate about how if you want society to respect you the way you think you deserve to be respected, you should probably stop using that fucking word. Change the suffix all you want. You're still using a different form of nigger.
You're using something that everyone says is derogatory.
Yeah, and you are so, like if I say, oh, what's up, my nigga? Well, I better be prepared to go stand in the unemployment line. Even if it just so happens to be my black stepbrother.
Or have the shit beat out of you.
Right. But they can use it, and people say it's bullshit, it's unfair. I say just do away with the word. A lot of people think you should do away with the word faggot. Mm-hmm. But it's the overall theme of this episode really is about people that get offended for other people.
Yeah.
If I say, God, my coworker is such a bitch, and someone goes and tells her, and then tells the boss that they're offended that I called her a bitch, even if I spent 20 minutes presenting hard facts that really paint her out to be a bitch, and they're not at all slanted to my opinion. I'm not actually talking about anybody specific. This is a hypothetical.
No.
Although there is somebody at work I think is a bitch.
Roadhouse.
Anyway.
Hi.
Yeah. So, so if I do that, and then the boss yells at me, he's like, oh, you're saying horrible things about her and telling people she's a bitch. Well, I didn't say she is a bitch. I said I think she's a bitch.
Yeah, I didn't go up and call her one.
But the point is, I didn't tell her she's a bitch to her face. So,
you're getting in trouble because someone else felt offended, and I think people that are easily offended just go away.
But that's just the way that things are going. That's the direction that society is getting, which it boggles my mind because there's all these people that are for being more sensitive. We need to be more sensitive. You shouldn't talk like that. You shouldn't say negative things about women because you're teaching your daughters that they're not as worthy as males, or you shouldn't talk poorly of gay people because you're prejudiced.
Those are the same people that go down the street wearing a pussy costume.
Probably.
Dressed like a giant vagina, or walking around the streets nude.
Yeah.
Like, need to be more sensitive. Well, some people are sensitive to you dressing like that.
Well, and as you asked me upstairs about people, their feelings on gay marriage. Now, if somebody says, I'm not for gay marriage, but I'm not going to tell anybody else what they can and can't do, that's your preference. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
When it becomes prejudice is when you try to impose your opinion on others forcefully. That's when you become a homophobe, when you say, I don't believe in gay marriage, and I don't think they should be able to get married. No.
It's wrong.
You're trying to restrict the behaviors of other people. You're trying to conform their rights to your belief system.
Yeah, as you were saying, when you start telling them that they're wrong.
And that's
like
why...
what they're doing is wrong.
And that's why in this state, when we had the marriage amendment to define marriage as between one man and one woman, we had the Vote No campaign, which I was a part of. And all these people that were for defining it that way, a lot of them were religious and conservative. Yeah. And they said, I'm sick of being called a bigot and prejudice. Well, then why are you trying to restrict the rights of others? Just say, you know what? I'm a Christian. I don't believe in homosexuality being okay, but I'm also not going to stop anybody from doing it. And then you had all these conservatives were like, oh, it's a war on religion in America. The episode I did about separation in church and state.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I remember that.
That right there would be considered an act of war against religion in America.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, let's get God the fuck out of government.
Let's get it off the money and everything. Get it out of the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's your preference. If you want to practice religion in your home and at your church, fine. But once upon a time ago, and I don't think I told this story in that episode, I forgot to. I worked at Target. I worked in the stock room. There was an old woman back there. Her name was Georgia. She kept putting up this poster around the holidays, this little printout that said, joy, vertically. Jesus, others, you. I fucking took it down and threw it away twice. In the same day. And then she writes on there, if you don't like it, don't read it. I don't fucking hang up anti-religious shit, satanic, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, atheist, agnostic shit in the stock room for all to see. Why should your fucking beliefs get preference? Why is your Jesus more sacred than my belief that Jesus is a big fucking lie?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a perfect example of her getting offended when she didn't have the right to be. People would say, well, you're faith shaming. There's another one. You're faith shaming. How dare you tell people they shouldn't believe in God? Well, it's not that I'm telling you shouldn't believe in God. I'm telling you I don't, and why logically it doesn't make sense to believe in God to me. But it would be an attack on religious ideals to say, get your God out of my government. Stop talking about your Jesus. Why is there a Ten Commandments sign or statue in front of the courthouse? They've had that argument before.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I mean, everybody just needs to fucking back off with the use of shaming. Let people have negative opinions. Because if everybody's happy all the time and everything is great and everybody's worthwhile, what the fuck is there left to strive for? You have to challenge your mind to improve yourself as a person. That is something that I would instill in my students if I dropped what I was doing today and became a teacher. You need to challenge people's minds, and that's the argument of what's not going on college campuses anymore. Because all these kids are demanding safe spaces. An entire generation that's been told, you're special, here's your participant trophy, you can do whatever you want, and, fuck it, you're not going to be held responsible for any of your shitty behavior because you're just misunderstood. Here, take some more Ritalin. I don't understand it, and they need to stop. It's okay to tell someone that you're too fat for me. I'm not fat shaming you. Maybe I'm saying it because you should get on the treadmill. If I'm saying someone's too fat, don't tell me I'm fat shaming them. If I'm saying, you're too fat, aren't you worried about your health?
No.
Get on that fucking treadmill. Put down the fried chicken bucket.
Change your diet a little bit. Take care of yourself.
I shouldn't have to sit there and be attracted to every woman that I see. I can tell you what I'm into, what I'm not into. I should be able to tell you that a woman does not have the same physical strength as a man, and that's why it's questionable if they should be on the elite squads of the military. Because you're asking for the best of the best, and these are the requirements, and we're dumbing it down for inclusion.
Yeah.
Inclusion of everybody, it's not the answer.
No, again, not everybody's the same. Not everybody has the same thinking.
And it's ruining...
Not everybody's happy.
It's ruining America.
I don't think it's just America. I think it's the whole frickin' planet.
Well, it's definitely way worse.
I think we're spearheading the effort for inclusion and acting the way that we've been acting.
Oh, yeah. We are definitely the J.R. Ewing of all of that. That's a Dallas reference. Dallas was a drama that was on in prime time in the 80s. It inspired the Simpsons episode, Who Shot Monty Burns? Spoiler alert, it was the baby. Maggie. Are you ready to play a game?
Yeah.
It's time to play Who Said It? Not really on topic, but I thought I'd add some humor to the end of the episode. So what I have here are a list of quotes. There's a lot of them. You can't see them, but there's a lot you can see. You have to tell me if this is an ex-girlfriend of mine who said this or someone else.
Okay.
So I'm going to be all over the board here. Just hurry up and finish.
Ooh, that's a good starter. I'm going to say someone else. I'm picturing a boss.
It's not. It was a girl.
Just hurry up and finish?
I don't know. It was a girl who has trouble having orgasms, and then she wanted me to get it over with.
She dried out midway?
No, she didn't. She just gets bored, apparently.
What?
She gets bored during sex. She doesn't get off easy, and then she gets bored waiting to come.
Does she do anything to help herself along? I mean...
She flicks her bean a bit, and she likes it if you chow her box, but really she'd prefer if the guy would just come and it would be over, so she doesn't feel self-conscious about not being able to orgasm easily.
That actually kind of weirds me out.
Well, you didn't have to fuck her, so what do you care?
Well, I'm just saying, if I came across that...
What is that? Oh. Why are you going so slow?
I'm gonna have to go with girlfriend on this one.
That was a driver's ed test instructor guy when I was taking the test and going through a residential doing only 15.
I'm just horrible at this game. Okay, let's try this another one.
Am I tight enough for you?
I'm gonna go girlfriend on that one.
That is a girlfriend. Why aren't you more hard?
I'm gonna go girlfriend again.
Yes, it is. There's a few of these that are slam dunks. Put it in a little more.
I'm gonna go other.
That was actually a cashier at Target the other day. It was a guy, and it's ironic that he said it, because when I walked up, I thought he looked kind of effeminate. He might be a homosexual. Mm-hmm. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I put my red card into the reader. He's like, oh, yeah, I'd put it in a little more. It's not working.
Put it in a little more.
Oh, yeah, put it in a little more.
Harder!
And I thought, Jesus Christ, I gotta use that one.
So I got it right, yeah.
Hurry up, pull out.
Other.
It was a driving ed instructor in high school, and I was nervous about turning into a lane with a car coming.
Ding.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of cum.
That's a girlfriend.
Are you sure it could have been somebody else that I heard? They can't all be slam dunks.
I'm still gonna go with girlfriend.
That is a girlfriend. I was in need of your penis.
Gee, thanks for putting down me with that last. I'm gonna say other.
No, that was a girlfriend.
That was a girlfriend?
There's nothing that smells worse than fucking dead cum. That's a quote.
Dead cum? Okay.
I don't write this shit.
Yes, you do.
I wrote it down. I didn't come up with it. I didn't say it.
Okay, you're not the author. I'm gonna go other.
That was, in fact, my cousin once.
You're gonna have to elaborate on that story.
I forget the context of the conversation, but something about semen came up, and this is when I was visiting her at St. Thomas when she was going to college there.
So it's a female. Okay.
Yeah. So and then she says, God, there's nothing that smells worse than fucking dead cum. The use of the word fucking at that point in the sentence kind of throws you for a loop. There's nothing that smells worse than dead cum, but I had to put it as a quote. You were correct. Leave me alone. Go wash your dick.
Girlfriend?
Correct.
Okay.
And that was hilarious when that was said. I was teasing her for when she got out of my bed, she kind of crumpled to a knee because I had bent her legs a little bit and she was a little tender in the hammies.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I could feel my teeth scraping it.
I'm going to say other on that one.
No. No,
Really?
That was after I got a very toothy blowjob on my 16th birthday.
You got a biter. Oh.
I didn't even finish.
Those are terrible.
They are terrible. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Other?
No, a woman said that to my penis. And then, like, patted it. She patted my boner on that. She's like, oh, it's so beautiful. I was like, this is fucking weird, but cool.
Okay,
We'll
so
go
this
with it.
was this a girlfriend? You just said a woman, not a girlfriend.
I
so...
wasn't, like, at the mall. Why would I be at the mall with a boner?
That's my question.
I had just got done pooning her.
Okay.
You really needed contextual clarity on that?
Well, because you said a woman. You didn't say a girlfriend.
Boy. Here's a quote. Ah! That's an actual quote. Let's try that again without reloading the mic. Ah! Nope, still.
Yeah, still. Damn. Other.
No. No. Apparently, I don't just have cold hands. Walking around the house sans pants before I did something, and I stuck her with my icy D. I was not expecting that.
Girlfriend.
It was a girlfriend. She didn't expect that I was going to do her twice that night. This was many years ago, back when my penis was able of doing that. Now it's like, I'm done. Good night.
I can still do that once in a while.
Good for you.
Once in a while.
Not so fast.
That would be other.
That was actually my mom as I was driving their golf cart.
They have one speed, full throttle.
Wow. That's Linda for you. Ew, dicks are gross.
I'm going to go with girlfriend on that one.
It was a girl I wanted to be my girlfriend, but it was not.
Okay.
I swam a little too close to her up in the pool, and it brushed against her thigh.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was illogical for a girlfriend, but it'd be funny.
I'm bleeding!
Other.
That's the juice when I rip one of her teeth out of her face. I was almost there.
Girlfriend.
No, that was the juice when we were playing Oregon Trail and she died.
Aww.
I thought of that one right before you got here.
When did you get Oregon?
You can play DOS versions of it on the internet.
The original version?
Just Google play Oregon Trail free.
Oh, sweet.
So, was it good?
Other?
It is other. That was a frequent collaborator Bergie who asked me that when I told him I had seen the movie Human Centipede. Let me wrap this up. Don't you dare.
Dude, that sounds like something to be so. I'm going to say girlfriend.
It was. She was afraid I wasn't going to pull out. And the last one I'll do is, do you want me to suck you first?
Please let that be a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah! Atta girl.
I don't
yes, I do.
What is wrong with you?
Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It Podcast Show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jman.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
And that's the end.